Hey YouTube, what's happening? It's Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and professional real estate developer. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to the channel now because we're really trying to get the algorithm to recognize that we're back filming and trying to deliver this great content to not only you, but some of your friends and family members who are also looking to grow. So please go ahead and like the video and subscribe now. Today's video is about an emerging trend and therefore an emerging opportunity that I see, and I see it so much and so distinctly and so clearly that I'm actually doing something about it. You may have heard a lot about these midterm or longer term stays. Well, I think it's a way that people are going to continue to live for an extended period of time. And so I have personally invested in a, let's call it a midterm rental on Palm Beach Island in Florida, where there's very strict anti-short-term rental rules. And so we're not going to break any of those rules. We're going to play within the rules and the guidelines, and we're going to rent for this midterm stay. Now, in this market, high season is really from like November until May. Those 6 months is when people from the Northeast and from Canada and from all parts of the world want to be in Florida because it's sunny and it's great weather and they want to get away from the snow and all of that. And that trend is only enhanced by tax motivated travel, people that want to be outside of, say, a high tax state like New York or California for 6 months in a day. I'm not a tax expert, so check your own thing. All I'm talking about here is opportunities, investment locations that are interesting, and emerging trends, which is this midterm stay concept. So we purchased this property almost a year ago, August of last year, based on a thematic trend that I participate in personally and I believe will continue, where people are literally leaving high tax domiciles, high tax states, and moving towards low tax states or no tax states. I happen to domicile in Wyoming, a zero tax state. Florida's a zero tax state. I think there's Tennessee and Texas, and there's a few others. You can do the research simply, but that's an ongoing trend, and people may not be able to afford buying a home. People may not want to buy a home yet until they go put their toe in the water, test it. How do we like Texas? How do we like Florida? But these homes have increased in value tremendously. In fact, I've received over $1 million bid over my price that I paid not 10 months ago, and I'm not selling because I'm holding and I'm going to do these midterm rentals. So I can't short-term rent as we covered, but I can long-term rent. I think I'm allowed 3 rentals per year, but realistically I'm looking for somebody who's a good 1-year tenant. I've so far had 2 people who have booked last winter, and I have another tenant moving in this winter. And even on those 6 months and a day rentals, the property makes a lot of sense financially. It cash flows, it's cash flow positive, and it's appreciated in value, as I said, over $1 million in less than 10 months. So this concept of, I'm an Airbnb host, I'm a Vrbo host, I'm a short-term rental host, that's fantastic, and that's the bread and butter of my business. That's where I spend most of my time and energy. But when I see a related or ancillary or complementary opportunity, like right next door to me in the midterm market, I'm going to take advantage of that. So let's try and break this down into simple math. And basically there's a spectrum, right? There's like 1 night rental from a hotel all the way to like a commercial property, which is 10 years. In exchange for that certainty, a 10-year lease, you're going to command less return on your investment. For the uncertainty of a 1-night rental, you're going to need to make a lot more money so that like the next day, if it's vacant, you're okay, right? So if you're doing short-term rentals like we are on Airbnb and on Vrbo, and let's say our average stay is 3 nights or 7 nights, we make somewhere around 2 to 3 times what a 12-month lease would cost. So putting that in perspective, if you have a 1-bedroom and it rents for $1,000 a month for a 12-month period, if you were to put this on Airbnb in the right location and done properly, today what we're seeing is that that same unit would generate about $2,500 per month or $3,000 per month. And because we're on a spectrum, the midterm rental will be somewhere in the middle. So if it's $1,000 a month for a 12-month rental, and it's $3,000 a month for a short-term vacation rental, and now we're doing a midterm rental, you should be somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a month. So that's still very attractive, and that certainly beats a 12-month lease. And this is an area where I'm expanding my horizon, I'm expanding my search, I think this is an emerging area and an opportunity for you and I. I personally am taking a very strong look at this. There's a lot of places where there's not enough housing inventory and prices have gone through the roof, and consequently people who want to be there have no choice but to rent. But because the homes are so expensive, most of these homes aren't for rent. They're owner occupied, and therefore there's not a lot of rental opportunities either. And so consequently, an entrepreneur like myself will come in and say, well, maybe I can afford to buy these expensive homes, and as long as it cash flows, I can put it out in the midterm rental market. And that could be a niche strategy that could be very lucrative without a lot of competition. So you heard it here first, which is why I'm going to remind you to please like the video, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel. This is an area to watch. This is a huge opportunity. Buy rental properties, rent them out for the midterm, and set your own future, because not a lot of people are looking at this space yet. The best is yet to come. Thank you.